And also, like, when people like racism is haram, okay, then uphold it, right? Like, why are you using that to
then you should be offended, like, and especially like on TikTok, all these like haram police and people like wanting to police other Muslims about their behavior and what they're doing. And like, for some reason, like, for instance, like, a lot of Muslim men are just like obsessed with like policing Muslim women's hijab, and oh, they're not wearing hijab correctly or not enough, or the colors. Most recently on TikTok, there was this whole thing about like Muslim men, halal bros, or whatever the term they came up for themselves, or that we're like calling them for them. Like, oh, sisters, like, you shouldn't have your face on, you know, social media because that might be misabused. And it's like, okay, everything is about pointing to the person, in this case, right, women, talking to the people who are victims of abuse, victims of people's bad intentions, and saying, you need to be less, you need to handle other people being bad, instead of addressing, in this case, men, brothers, teaching other brothers, like, hey, we're going to call you out for being problematic, for being sexist, for being misogynist, blah, 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 blah. Right? And so, and it's funny because I'm also on a lot of like non-Muslim, on TikTok, I get a lot of like non-Muslim intersectional feminism or not so intersectional feminism content. And I really do appreciate learning from those videos. However, so much of what I see, especially from women, like white women's videos, is literally carbon copy the kind of talking points that I've seen Black folks talk about when they talk about racism. And yet for some reason, those same white people, like, especially like white women, when the conversation was about them experiencing misogyny and sexism, they were with it. They were having such really great points and sticking to critical thinking and all that. But then as soon as it comes to a Black person pointing out literally the same talking points, but just talking about race, it's like all of a sudden like, oh, you're attacking me. And like now they're parroting the same things that white men are telling white women about misogyny. It's like, do you literally not see it?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, and I've reflected on this a lot as well, like within the Muslim community, right? Like we do face oppression within the US, right? People face Islamophobia, xenophobia, there's job discrimination, there's hijab discrimination. But when we have the conversation of Black Muslims experiencing racism within the mosques or schools or whatever, like Islamic schools, then they're like, no, we're all brothers and sisters. But I'm like, you have the experience of oppression, you understand what it looks like. But when your fellow Black Muslims are naming the kind of oppression they're experiencing, then you are like, oh, but it's different, right? But it's not. Like, you have the capacity to understand